What's up, guys? Dominic here. Happy Easter to everybody around the world. Jesus is resurrected. I love it. This is the time of the day that gets me excited. But what we're gonna do today, other than Easter stuff, is we're gonna be doing Taking Ponies Too Seriously. Now, the episode we're gonna be watching is Taking Misconceptions of Rainbow Dash Too Seriously. Now, this is pretty much sometimes at Easter where some people have actually where they get too full of themselves and they go on Easter. Now, I've noticed this kind of similarly every day, so I'm going to take a look at this, and we're going to see what exactly the misconceptions of RD is, because right now, as it stands, and I quote, well, I don't quote, I got no quote. Just kidding, but like, I feel like some people are taking this kind of a bit too seriously. Some people take the show not too great sometimes, but there's some things about it that are not exactly right. Now, if we're going to be taking misconceptions of this character way too seriously, the reason why this is my favorite character is because she's awesome, she has that kind of talented heart, she's strong-headed like me, and she's not one to give up so seriously when it comes to a challenge. So, I guess without further ado, we will get started. Oh crap, volume's down. Volume down! Volume down, where's the settings? Crank that volume all the way up.
Greetings, every peoples. This is your cult personality speaking. Toon Critic Y2K is the name. Toons are the name of my game, and I am very honored to be here on the FOB Equestria YouTube. Rock on, you military maniacs. So, yeah, doing a character analysis on Rainbow Dash. That hasn't been totally hammered down into the ground, but hey, people have their own opinions, so I figured I'd chip in my 2 bits. Rainbow Dash, to me, is a character I've shared a personal connection with since I first started watching the show.
Amen to you,
You can
brother.
probably guess where this is going. Point is, I've been trying to figure out why so many people have jumped on the bandwagon of Dash hating. Yes, she can be arrogant and egotistical, but I've always thought a lot of us have that ego spark in us. The common complaints I've heard range from, oh, she's too arrogant, to, oh, someone pop her ego into pieces, or even she's one of the worst characters in the show, and she's totally annoying, worst pony banned from EQD, etc., etc. Give me a break. That doesn't hold up. There has to be some
Norris, your argument is invalid.
So I decided to enlist the help of one fiery joker, Josh Scorcher, to help me out.
Okay, ignoring the military pun there and the fact that this is my channel, howdy. Now, Rainbow Dash isn't one of my favorite characters of the show. In fact, she's not even in my top 10. But that still doesn't mean I don't think she's a good character or well-developed. There's a ton of complaints surrounding her, and we're going to be destroying them strawman style.
One right after the other. So,
Like a domino
first up,
effect.
let's look at some of the misconceptions where things, from what I noticed, started to fall apart. The Mysterious Meriduel episode.
That episode.
90% of the fandom hate this episode because this is Dash at her worst.
I agree.
Okay. Rainbow Dash was shown to be quite the attention whore, saving people just to get recognition, and milking every last drop of attention she could get out of Ponyville, and people demonized her for this. I didn't even notice this until I started hearing people mention what happened. It almost made me hesitant to become an analyst or reviewer, just in general, from hearing one of my favorites being picked apart. Alas, these points would have been brought up anyway.
Okay, ignoring that the length she went to elongate her ego trip was downright hilarious, and she learned her lesson in the end, she wasn't instantly a jerk. It took time to do so. That's how people fall, over time. And be honest, someone like Rainbow Dash is very easily susceptible. Secondly, I want to ask all of you, have you ever been famous? Have you ever heard thousands of people screaming your name? Have you ever had praises thrown at you like beads on Mardi Gras? It's extremely difficult to not let it go to your head. When someone praises you, calls you amazing, or borderline prostrates themselves before your presence, it's really tough to not think of these people as beneath you. I'm not saying it's right, it's not. But you have to understand what people like this go through, and the people getting praised have to be prepared to get a reality check every now and again.
Agreed.
Some people don't get the kind of praise that Rainbow Dash got. I've always believed that if we were given the chance, we'd want a shot in the spotlight, however small it was. It's a sense of thrill and excitement that you can only feel when you have a large crowd of people behind you, and it works for Rainbow Dash. She has the skills to actually back up what she says. Recall the phrase, it's not bragging if you can back it up.
Muhammad
it's
Ali.
all good for a little while, but if that's all you're going to do with bragging, people will get tired of you.
Agreed.
And Rainbow Dash is the perfect character to learn a lesson like this. She's very hard-headed, brash, yet she enjoys inspiring others through her actions. So it's the most
Naruto.
believable for this member of the main six to learn a moral of doing the right thing.
Hold it. For the record, Naruto is like this, if you have watched the anime show. So this is referencing to that as well. I don't care if you guys think that this is not referencing. You're wrong. Your argument's invalid. I am one of the best fans of it.
Things for the right reasons. Towards the start of the show, I did enjoy Rainbow Dash's character because I felt all she did was brag. But after this episode, which effectively called her out on it, she started developing in a great direction.
This is an unfortunate lesson that kids or adults even have to go through when they get too full of themselves.
I started noticing that around the time when some of my teachers, when I was in like somewhere around towards all the years, that they have gone through a point in time where they kind of bragged a bit about themselves. I've noticed this from kids. I've noticed this from adults. I even noticed this sometimes from my parents. And a lot of us have to go through that. A lot of us go through that phase of, oh, I want to be in the spotlight. I'm going to brag about this. I'm going to boast about it and everything. But that's not the point. One time when I got a trophy when I was in basketball, I literally bragged the heck out of my friends saying that I was the one who got a trophy and you didn't. I literally did that for ages, and now I kind of stopped at that point after watching the show. And like, hey, if I had the evidence to back it up, I would. But like, how do I put this? It's more like taking it as, some people don't take it as a joke, but some people think it's a joke, some people think it's not, and some people take it way too seriously. I mean, come on, I had a person shout at me and almost punch me in the face one time in elementary.
And someone like Rainbow Dash, as hard-headed as she is, can only be knocked back down to the ground to see what she's done through actions rather than words.
And that's where another complaint comes in. The fact that Rainbow Dash was humbled. And I can see where that comes in.
That word humble. Humble. Do you know how many people are humble these days? Okay, take the United Kingdom for example. The royal family is always humbled. That's what I do not like. I am sorry for any British people who are watching this, but it's the truth. But I'm not trying to be like a racist person. I'm just spreading out the facts. I'm just stating the obvious. I'm stating the fact. If you don't like it, deal with it. That's what I say. And here's, oh, by the way, here's a catchphrase. Here's a catchphrase for you. Don't like it? Deal with it. That's going to be my catchphrase from now on. So anytime I upload a video, and if you guys don't like it, deal with it.
And a lot of people originally fell in love with Rainbow Dash's confidence, so to see her actually lose and admit defeat can be jarring to some people. I get it.
We all have to lose and admit defeat sometimes. It's a point in our lives. We have to admit defeat sometime. You can't just keep up saying that you're victorious. You have to admit defeat, otherwise you're not going to make any friends at all. You have to admit defeat sometimes, otherwise you're not going to live a happy life. That's what I learned. I used to like take everything victorious as a victory. And after that, I started thinking, I need to take some losses. Sometimes you need to take losses to gain wins. That's what I say.
Get that. But I feel when you take a step back, it makes it more dramatically potent to have the character with the indomitable spirit be knocked down.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or in this case,
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
what doesn't break you makes you stronger. You're only ever going to
Or
learn
in
the
this
most
case, what
important
doesn't
things
break
in
you
life
makes you
the hard way, and that's by getting burned. Those seem to be
Not-
the only made.
When he says getting burned, he doesn't mean that. He doesn't mean go on a bicycle, get yourself burned, or go get burned in a volcano. He doesn't take that as a serious thing. He's literally joking. That means getting burned. In other words, have you ever been thrown out with a fact that really damages you, and you just have to hate that, and you want to hit somebody for that? Yeah, that's what getting burnt is.
Your complaints for Rainbow Dash and MDW. But then everyone started jumping up and down when Read It and Weep and Daring Don't came out.
Oh yeah, Read It and Weep and Daring Don't. Now, Read It and Weep was a good episode because I want to say this out loud, personally, that Rainbow Dash thought eggheads were well, not jerks. Eggheads were just people who read, and that they were boring. They're not. Everybody reads. I don't care who you are. Everybody reads. I don't care if you say you're an athlete. I don't care if you say you are a gamer. Everybody reads. I feel like I'm dragging this out for too long. But anyways, we're almost done with this. Well, halfway done, sort of. Let's continue.
Oh no, Dash totally is our cool image. It's totally in the pieces. It's destroyed. She's not a nerd. She's supposed to be the radical and then tubular and Mondo, El Chizo Supremo, most audacious Pegasus around, cause she's Rainbow Dash.
Now, this one actually makes me chuckle a little because it's so ironic. People are complaining that Rainbow Dash, the cool pony, shouldn't read books or show passion for them because
Don't care who you are. You read. I don't care who you are.
being interesting in that sort of thing is uncool. So, Rainbow Dash can't show an interest in nerdy things because nerdy things are uncool. That's like saying a man shouldn't enjoy a show for little girls because wait, I'm having an epiphany!
Which is exactly.
Now, I have to agree that saying that a person is a nerd and they're doing uncool stuff is like saying that MLP is just a show for girls, when it's not. It's for everybody. Get used to it.
What the episode was going for. You know, I want to meet the person who thought it was a good idea to define cool. This isn't the 90s, and our standard of cool is having the latest phone or gaming system or car or biggest wing boner. I honestly don't.
That last part was funny, but seriously. The last part was funny, and not true. But the other things, like, for us, how we define cool is having newest piece of technology, newest game systems, everything. That's how everybody defines cool these days. That is how everybody defines cool.
No. And the biggest problem is that the term cool is completely based on opinions. It is a pointless and subjective term that has led to bullying, discrimination, and depression.
I agree.
Yeah, you thought the big bad words were scary. Point is, these two episodes do one thing right. They add another layer to Rainbow Dash's character, making her her own person and less of a one-dimensional butch heroine cliche. What is it you once said, Josh? Don't Flanderize for good?
Well, yes, because making characters more human requires them to have some inconsistencies within them, because real humans are like that. We have jocks who like to read. We have soldiers who are also musicians. Heck, we have grown men who watch a little girl show.
Point is, everybody does something different.
The problem is many rogues can only see characters in stereotypes and tropes. Purple Smart wouldn't do that! So for a character to suddenly show something new and out of place beyond those set-defined characteristics causes them to enter a state of OOC does not compute!
We're so...
I have to agree. When somebody you know a lot and who does that type of thing, all of a sudden they do something new, they completely get dropped out and left out, and all of a sudden they start pulling each other apart, and that causes a whole new time paradox.
We're used to seeing some of our characters work within defined boundaries, that's the thing. And besides, I didn't see anyone complaining about when Dash squealed at the gala. Anyone? No?
Nope.
Good. It doesn't make her look less cool for fangirling. And whoever came up with the term cool that thought it would be a great idea to set up these stupid defined roles needs to be taken outside and shot.
Don't you think that's a little excessive?
In the leg.
Oh, okay.
So they can't walk again. Ever. Is that cool? Have fun being cool. So Rainbow Dash is a fangirl. Whoop-de-freaking-do. People cite that as out of character or against her image. I call bull.
I have to agree. When some people... The person you expect to be cool and who is always a gothic character that you see roaming around the school sometimes, all of a sudden they do something new like Fangirl or Squeal or something, and that's usually not their thing. That is not how everything goes. People do new stuff that they want to do. If you do not like it, just deal with it. Everybody has their own, like, here's the thing. Whatever floats your boat. That is just like, be happy. Whatever floats your boat. Do this. I don't care as long as you're not, like, monetizing it or something. I don't know. I picked up a lot of this from Jacksepticeye. And Jacksepticeye is actually a really cool guy. You should check out his channel. I'll put his channel in the description so you guys can search it up. I don't know how to do links yet, so if you guys could teach me how to do links, that'd be great. But like how this goes is that everybody always freaks out when somebody goes out of character. I mean, look at me. I go out of character. I mean, doing YouTube is a new thing for me. Like, all of a sudden, I get on my friends on Xbox, and all of a sudden, I say that I'm a YouTuber. I got my own channel, and all of a sudden, they start freaking out, saying, "That's not your thing. What are you doing? You should go back to doing what you do with this." I go, "This is new for me. I want to do this. If people do not like what I do, they can literally go on a boat, go to an island, get stranded. I don't care." Okay, that's a bit extreme, but still, I really don't care. I do my own stuff. Let people do what they want to do. Just when you see here's a little tip for you guys. When you see somebody doing something out of character, just let them float their boat.
Rainbow Dash is too arrogant and too egotistical, and then one aspect of her has been flanderized to make her tedious to handle. Again, I call bull. How? Let's look at one last misconception then. Rainbow Dash's behavior in Rainbow Falls.
And here's an example of another instance where bronies can only see characters for the 2 or 3 traits they have. The first complaint is saying that Rainbow...
Get ready, Jason's coming. Jason's on his way.
I'm already ready.
Rainbow Dash having to give up her dream of being in the Wonderbolts to go with her friends was a bad choice. Despite almost the exact same thing happening in the second episode.
I swear the day Dash becomes a Wonderbolt is the day the series ends. I get that she chose to go against Spitfire and Wonderbolts Academy. I do. I really do. Villainizing the Wonderbolts, okay, good for you, writers. You're wrecking a goal for Rainbow Dash. If you take away her goal to be a Wonderbolt, then what is she supposed to do? It's her life goal, her life dream. If she keeps choosing her friends over it, why keep holding the goal up? Is that actually what Rainbow Dash is going for? Or is it all just a fantasy that she can fantasize about but not actually do?
To summarize, we understand Rainbow Dash getting knocked down a few pegs and developing interests and habits outside of the cultural norm is surprising, but that's just how characters grow. That's how characters become unique, interesting, and show more dimensions to their personalities. My advice is this: whenever you see a character that does something you don't think fits them, maybe you should take a step back and think, maybe I don't know the character as well as I think I do. Making a judgment about what a character should and shouldn't do implies you know everything about them.
Okay. Guys, I'm gonna have to pick up another time here, so... Will you guys get out of the shot? Anyways, I'll see you guys another time. Thanks for watching this episode with me. Have a great Easter.